We're private investors. We're not realtors. We're not attorneys. We're not accountants. And we don't pretend to be. We just know lease option, creative financing strategies and laws, and we do them for ourselves, and we don't represent anybody but ourselves. So that's my quick disclaimer there, because the guys in the fancy suits make us say that. But we want you to know that our goal in this video is really to give you the information that you're looking for. We know that you're here saying looking for different options for your property, and we want to give you that information so that way you can make a good decision for yourself. And you're always welcome to hire a real estate attorney or a realtor to help you. You may be an attorney or a realtor, and we're absolutely happy to work with you and be as transparent as we possibly can. All right, so let's start with this quick presentation. You see here it says get your full asking price, pay no fees, and that's true. Our buyers actually pay us. That's why you don't pay any fees. We structure everything, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But we structure everything in a way that you're allowed to get your, not allowed, but you're able to get your full asking price in exchange for good terms. And so that's how we structure this way. And then our buyers pay us an option assignment fee for the work that we do, the marketing, the negotiating, the drafting of all the contracts, the cost it costs for our realtors and attorneys to put everything together. So that's how we keep it free to you. And you can sell in just 7 to 14 days as long as you're priced right. So people often ask me, Russ, do you have a buyer for me right now? Well, if they haven't gone to your house yet and they haven't seen it, if I haven't even seen enough information, I promise you I don't have a buyer just yet. Um, and I say that just to say, our goal is to get folks over there to see the home, but it's going to be dependent on how well you are priced and as soon as we're able to get them to go see your home. All right, so here's how it works. Our buyers will lease your home for a specified time. It's the option period, and it's usually about 1 to 3 years. It can be 5 years, it can be 10 years, but generally speaking, it's anywhere from 1 to 3 years, and you pick the term that you want. We also send our buyers to speak with a mortgage company so they can get pre-qualified and get a good idea of how long they need. So we set them up for the best chance of success as well as you as well. And during that time, they can exercise their option to buy, or they can wait till the end of the lease term to exercise their option, or they can simply not exercise their option. It's an option, so they have the option to buy or option not to buy. It is a unilateral transaction, so you as a seller would be required to sell, but the buyer is not required to buy. You still win, as you'll see here in a moment, regardless of what decision they make. The way we structure it, you still win. First reason why you win is because they will be responsible for the first $5,000 of any kind of repair. That means that you don't need to be a landlord and fix leaky roofs or leaky toilets on the weekends or late at night. And you don't need to hire a property management company. If you want to, you're welcome to, of course, but it's not required. So you can save money and save time and frustration in both. The home will be sold as is. So our buyers often, honestly, they rarely ever do inspections, but if they did, they're welcome to do it. But the home is still going to be sold as is, and that's in writing as well. And the reasons why you would want to do this to kind of break them out is that maybe you plan to sell in the next 5 years from now. If you do, and you're unable to sell or don't want to sell in the traditional way or rent it in the traditional way, this is a great alternative to doing that. Maybe you're moving out of state and you need to occupy the property or handle it in one way or another as soon as possible. So doing a lease option, rent to own, is a great way to do it. Maybe you cannot pay a realtor. Maybe you don't have any equity in your home or you're a little bit upside down. Maybe you can pay, but you don't want to pay a realtor the 6% commission, which can be pretty steep. Maybe you're tired of being a landlord. A lot of people that we talk to are tired of being a landlord and are looking for a hands-off type of transaction. This is great for that. Maybe you want cash flow for your property and want to hang on to it for a while, and so you might do a rent to own for that. Maybe you owe more than the home is worth, but you do not want to short sale it. So this is a great alternative. If you owe more, there's no equity to pay a realtor to sell it, but you need to do something with the home, this is a great alternative for you. We can get into more detail about that when we speak. Reasons why buyers want to buy this way is because they may have had bad credit in the past, but obviously they've got to be able to demonstrate that today they're in a better position financially and that their credit challenges were in the past. I mean, sometimes people have medical situations, they lose a job. I mean, not everybody's a deadbeat that doesn't want to pay, which is, I'm sure, your biggest concern. We understand that. And so we say that documentation beats conversation. And so they've got to be able to prove in writing, and we kind of do like a manual underwriting of everything, and we take a look at the full picture instead of just a credit score. The reason that is because some people have great credit scores, but huge maxed out debt, a lawsuit pending, or who knows, and they're on the brink of destroying their credit, and you just don't know it yet. So if you base your decision just off credit, um, that's not a good idea. And we saw the results of that in 2008, 2009, 2010. So we try to look at everything uh, in the full entire picture, which I think is probably a wiser approach. They may not have enough down payment. The bank may be requiring a higher down payment if they were to buy. They don't have it. So this gives them time to buy a home, but they've been able to lock in a purchase price. Sometimes we don't lock in a purchase price. Sometimes we do, and that's structured different on a case by case basis. But it just allows them to not, avoid their money going into just a straight rental, which these folks that we market to and build relationships with don't want to do. Maybe they don't have enough time on their job. Let's say they're self-employed and the bank says you got to have 2 years in this line of work and they've only got one. Well, this gives them a year to complete that requirement and be able to buy. And some people own too many homes and the bank won't lend them any money, but we don't run into that a whole lot, so it's not really a big issue. Okay, key benefits to you. What's in it for you, right? Well, you get 3 times the traffic to your home. Remember, if you if you are currently trying to rent your home and you're in an area where there's a lot of other rental homes, you're competing against a bunch of homes. Same thing if you're trying to sell the home. If your home's been sitting and sitting and you've got a realtor helping you, and we love realtors. We're nothing against them. We're just saying, sometimes you're in a heavy competitive market because you're not having much luck because you're not separating yourself. So the reason why we're able to get 3 times the traffic is because we're not doing what you're doing. We're not just trying to rent it or just try to sell it. We're doing a hybrid of the two, which appeals to 3 times the amount of people. You get a safer tenant buyer in your home. Why? Because these people ultimately want to buy the home. They want this home to be their home. So their mindset is to take care of it. Oftentimes they'll even spend their own money to improve it. That's better than what you get with the typical tenant who has no intention on taking care of the home like a homeowner like you would, because they're not going to own it in the future. I mean, you don't wash the rental car, right? You wash your car, but you don't wash the rental car. You rent it, you use it, and you return it. Same thing here. You can avoid being a landlord, as we mentioned earlier, because our buyers are responsible for the first $5,000 in repairs. Avoid double mortgage, because now there'll be somebody who's responsible taking care of the home. You get a higher than market price. That's why we're able to offer get your full asking price. In the beginning when I had that title up, it's because in exchange for good terms, the buyer is willing to pay a higher price. This is 100% free to you. And again, that's because our buyers pay us. So that's how we structure it to where you do not pay us. There's no gotcha moments. There's no gimmicks or tricks or, you didn't read the fine print. It's literally free to use simply because our buyers are willing to pay us our fee to help them find a rent-to-own home, which we would assign to them after you have given us permission to act as principals and assign over the option, which is exactly what we're doing. You would avoid paying 6% commission. So if your home is worth $200,000, you'd be paying 6% commissions, right? You'd be paying for the realtor who represents you and the realtor who represents the buyer, which would be about $12,000 out of your pocket plus closing cost. Since all the marketing and the contract drafting and everything is being taken care of by us, and we're paying our attorneys to review the contracts and our realtors to do the buyer agent stuff, they represent us, and as we assign the option, this fee goes away. You don't have to pay then, so you save that money. If they do not buy, well, you get your home back, and then you can just resell it. You've got a home that probably was taken care of well, and even maybe had some improvements done to it out of the buyer's pocket, not yours. And of course, you can just turn it around and put it back on the market, and if the market's even better in your favor, you just resell it. So that's it. It's pretty simple. All right, so what do you do next from here? Now that you've watched this video and you realize, hey, this makes sense for me. You want to sign up free by filling out our quick form at our website. Let us send you a letter of intent that'll describe our exact offer, the pricing and terms, and just to give you a quick heads up, it's going to be based on your purchase price, your terms, and your rental amount in most cases. If you're overpriced, your home's going to sit. No one's going to call us, and we won't have good news for you. So you want to make sure that you price it well. A good place to go to is called rentometer.com, rentometer.com. It does talk more about apartments, but doesn't matter. It'll still work for your single family home if that's what you got. And that way you get good pricing in terms from the onset, and you'll get a lot. We'll get a lot of calls from our buyers, to whom we will send out an e-blast. Since we build relationships over time, these people are coming into our websites constantly saying, hey, I'm looking for a rent-to-own home. What do you got in this area? So by the way, if you heard from us, that's the reason why you heard from us, is because we have people that are interested in a property like yours in your area, local to you. We're out of California, but we do this nationwide. And so these folks, are coming to us saying, hey, what do you have, Russ and Diana? And so we send out an e-blast to them, and that's why we're able to get a lot of people to express interest in a real short amount of time. We send them over to see your property within a 1 hour period, not 4 hours every Saturday and Sunday for months and months. It's literally 1 hour, 1 day, and we get them all to show up at one time, and that puts you in a great negotiation position, because you are able to pick which tenant buyer you like the best, and you're not having to haggle with somebody who's giving you a low ball offer, since you've got kind of an auction going on at your house. So it's pretty cool to watch happen, and we'll get into more detail as we go along. Once you agree to our letter of intent, you'll be signing a short 1-page lease option memo. It's literally 1 page. You fill it out with your purchase price, lease term, and rental amount. You're filling it out, so I mean, can't get any better than that. We'll find you a tenant buyer if you're priced right. There's my quick disclaimer. You got to be priced right. And you decide if you want to move forward or not. You can cancel anytime. You send me an email, say, Russ, we found somebody. Thanks for your help. But we don't need it any longer. And that's it. We're done. You don't owe me anything. It's our loss because we're paying our assistant to do the marketing and any realtors, etc. Attorney's fees. That's on us. We just look at it as a part of business, as long as, of course, they're not our tenant buyer. So we're trusting you here that you are going to work honorably, and that if we send you a tenant buyer, that we are compensated for what we've done. This is a non-exclusive contract, so if you have a realtor now, that's fine. We're not realtors. We're not trying to take their listing. We don't want to put your house on the MLS. We represent just ourselves. We act as a principal in the transaction. So that means that we are just representing ourselves. And the option right is actually personal property under the law. It's not real property, meaning real estate property. It's personal property. And that's what you're extending to us up here. And the lease option memo that we'll send to you, that you'll fill out, is that personal property that we're going to turn around and assign to an end tenant buyer, meaning buyer number 2. The ones that were buyer number 1, we'll assign it over to buyer number 2. If your head's spinning right now, I apologize, but I just want to, we just try to give you as much information as you can. Of course, you can have your attorney watch this video, and if they're a real estate attorney, they'll agree with this. If they're not familiar with lease options, then they're not going to know what this that we're talking about. Same goes for realtors as well. So get started today. You really have nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain. But we hope to get to know you. Obviously, we may not be able to meet you face-to-face anytime soon, but we can talk to you over the phone, and you can meet with our realtor if we have one over there in your specific area. And if you have any questions, let us know. So right now, go ahead and sign up, enter information about your property. We'll turn around and send you our letter of intent, and you can let us know if it's a good fit for you. All right, we'll see you on the other side.